Jasper. How are you today?
I'm great, you, Andy. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. Now, you just turned 18. Which boxing club are you at, and whereabouts is it in South Africa?
I'm at the Armoury Boxing Club in Cape Town, South Africa.
And what's the club like, and what are the coaches like there?
Good question. The club is, when I first went there as a kid, I was open, I was welcomed with open arms, and all the trainers and everyone that goes there are genuine, friendly people. There's some tough looking guys there, but they're the most friendliest, nicest guys you'll ever meet.
And what made you go through that gym door that first time? What made you start boxing, and how old was you?
I started boxing when I was around, I think, 11 years old. And the reason I started was because I was quite badly bullied as a kid. And I just wanted to just learn how to defend myself and just become a better person. So I just, I contacted the nearest gym I could and, walked through those doors.
And like any sport, most of the time it doesn't come naturally. Was it like that with you, or did it fall into place?
I would like to think that it took some time for me to really start getting the hang of things. But I think for the most part, it was pretty easy. I fell in love with it. So it was all I really did. So I think I learned quite quickly.
And was there a boxer at the club that you looked up to and thought, oh, I want to be like that guy?
Yeah, I think probably the person that I looked up to the most was my coach, who was an ex DRC champion, and he just he inspired me the most probably, and I wanted to be like him.
How old was you when you had that first boxing bout, and what are your memories of that bout?
I was probably, I think, 12 years old, and it was a great night. I remember, I was fighting this guy named Buren from Blankenberg, a bit older than me, and I had a lot more experience. And he came in swinging in the first two rounds, and I had no idea I had no idea how to handle this pressure. So I was quite intimidated, and I was down on the cards. But in the corner of the last round, I just thought to myself, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I don't want to go out like this in my first fight. So as soon as that bell went, I took him corner to corner and just didn't stop punching until the ref had to call it. And that was just a great night. I got my hand raised in victory, and I was just super chuffed.
Now, you know boxing, now you're more experienced now, especially at the
Yeah.
beginning, it's controlling those emotions. It's not just the physical
Yeah.
side, is it? How do you deal with those now? Do you deal with them fine now?
Yeah, definitely. I think I would like to go. Yeah, considering, especially even outside the ring, my aggression and confidence, my aggression has completely gone down. I'm such a peaceful guy, and as you know, all fighters are just such peaceful guys, and my confidence is also boosted by so much. Just knowing that I've got this discipline.
It's a very tough sport, and it does
Yeah.
give you discipline, doesn't it? But the training is very intensive because of the nature of the sport.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to keep motivating yourself year after year. What keeps you pushing you, Jasper, to keep in the sport?
What keeps me going is just trying to get better at in any small way that I can. If there's maybe a way I can throw the punch a little bit harder, I will keep working at it until I just get that little inch better to and I just really want to strive to be the best boxer that I can be and be the best person I can be. And I think boxing has made me the guy that I am today. And without it, I wouldn't be anywhere. So if I carry on boxing, I have the mentality that I'll carry on becoming a better person and growing into a good young lad.
And what's the toughest bit of the sport that you found?
I think the toughest bit, it's definitely the commitment. I mean, a boxer's life is quite a lonely one, but it's extremely beneficial. I mean, there's been a few times where I had to deny my mates going out and stuff. I'd be like, guys, I can't. I got to train, and it's hard doing that sometimes when your friends want to hang out with you and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's all worth it in the end.
Now, what's your best memory in the sport so far? I know you won the under-16 South African junior national title, didn't you? Which that's a great achievement. Is that your best achievement?
I think. I mean, believe it or not, it's actually exactly the opposite. My favorite memory was in the 2018 South African National Championships. We went up to the north of South Africa in Limpopo, and there was a little town called Malumalele, and I was the only guy that was not like a complete African. I was the odd one out, and I was completely in this new culture, and that in itself was amazing. But then in boxing culture in South Africa, there's a huge amount of dancing and chanting between, after, and before bouts, and I fought my way all the way to the finals.
That must be amazing to see that.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Yeah, so as I was saying, I fought all my way to the finals, and I just lost in the finals by a split decision. And my instinct wasn't to go and sulk or, just go sit by myself and rethink about the fight. I just immediately, out of nowhere, I don't know where it came from, I just started dancing with my teammates, and everyone just erupted with energy. And just the whole stadium just started dancing and chanting and stuff. It was amazing. I mean, there was a video that was made, and it got about 100,000 views or something, which was also great. And it was just so cool to break that boundary of culture and just really get connected with everyone.
Now, just to step into the ring is a big thing, but to reach the South African national level, obviously that takes a lot of dedication and hard work, primarily from yourself. But I like to think this is a good chance to maybe credit people who've helped you along the way. Who has helped you? I know there's people out here, but who do you credit, Jasper, for helping you?
I credit, obviously, my coach, Aladdin. He's like a father to me, and he's obviously taught me everything that I know, and he's the only guy that I would trust to be in my corner, and we've gone on this huge journey together. And then the second person is my dad. He gave his hand at boxing, but he wasn't the best at it. But he's always so enthusiastic.
I can tell your dad's your number one fan.
Yeah, he's so enthusiastic about my performances, and he's almost as obsessed with it as I am, and it's so awesome to see him just having that guy just like got my back,
And how's the rest of your family watching? Are they okay? Because boxing's not for everybody.
Yeah, my mom, she hates it. She does not like to see her boy getting hurt. But that's typical moms though.
And how popular is it in South Africa?
Boxing it's in my neck of the woods where I normally hang out. It's not that heard of, but in like the township areas and all those type of areas, it's all they do. boxing is huge, and it's also in Johannesburg. It's got a huge following, and I'm really happy to be part of that part of the whole family of boxing in South Africa, because we've got a huge history of very talented boxers that aren't necessarily they were not necessarily heard of, but I mean they're some of the greats.
And do you travel a lot across South Africa then? And do you go into different countries in Africa to box?
No, not yet, but I've been across whole of South Africa, and it's really cool traveling my home country and seeing different sides of places that I would never imagine seeing before.
Who do you enjoy watching on the world?
I'm a huge fan of Canelo. I love his defense style and just the way he boxes, but also obviously good old AJ, Anthony Joshua. He's a classic. I mean, his personality outside the ring is, I think, it's top notch. He's a real lad, and yeah, he's a guy that I look up to, and also inside the ring, obviously his style, and just at a heavyweight division as well, just his great technique is really impressive.
Now, talking about heavyweights, you're not a heavyweight, but you're stepping up into the senior ranks now, so you'll be fighting, between 18 and 35. Could be fighting 30-year-olds, couldn't you? How does that feel? How do you think? What do you think?
I feel quite comfortable with it, because in my gym there's not a lot of guys my age, especially when I was younger. So I've been brought up fighting guys a lot older than I was, and yeah, I mean, funny enough, my one bout I think I was like 15 or something, and I was fighting this 30-year-old man because they didn't have anyone else. I mean, boxing in South Africa is also it's quite wild. I mean, it's very organized, but there's sometimes there's a few like times where it's like what's happening. So yeah, I was fighting this huge 30-year-old man, and it was strange to say the least, but it was exciting. So I mean, I'm very comfortable with fighting guys a bit older, and it's great experience as well.
What do you want to achieve in the sport? Do you want to turn professional, or do you want to push on as an amateur first?
I think as an amateur, I mean, my main goal is hopefully one day to make it to the Olympics. I mean, that's what I've had my mind set on for quite some time now. And from there on, just being called an Olympian is an achievement in itself. So I want to cross that milestone and then maybe turn professional one day.
And what are your hobbies outside of boxing?
I guess I enjoy a lot of time in the mountains and doing just general hiking trails, and also spending time with my mates, just going out, having some fun, going to parties and stuff.
I think it's important to have other hobbies as well. My son boxes a lot, and I've seen it with other boxers. It takes up so much of your life at that top level.
Yeah, it does.
And when it stops, there's a big gap there. So it's important to have those other hobbies to fill that void sometimes after. Big question at the end. Why do you love the sport?
That is a great question, Andy. I love the sport because, I mean, it's taught me so much more than I could ever imagine. And it's inspired me to be a completely different person I mean, if you told me that I was going to turn out to be this guy that I am today about 7 years ago, I would say, nah, no way. But I mean, it's taught me a lot of things. Not just
in what way? How has that changed you as a person? How has it helped you as a person?
I went from this kind of like chubbyish, kind of shy person to now I'm quite a confident guy nowadays, and I've really come to grips with my personal self-esteem, and I'm truly happy with myself, who I am, and I couldn't care less about what other people think, and that's all because of boxing. And it's really helped me just enjoy who I am.
That's fantastic. Well, all the best, Jasper, and all the best with your boxing career. I hope you do well.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks for having me here.